I'm Michael from Compare the Financial Markets, and today we're talking to Parlee, Essex Rockerz. Hi Parlee, just a little bit about yourself. Can you tell us how do you pronounce your name and how you spell it?
Yeah, it's P-A-R-L-E-E, Parlee. It's an ancient Sanskrit language from Thailand. It's kind of like Latin is the equivalent to English. Parlee is the Thai.
Great, and ERZ?
Essex Rockerz, that's my crew from my school days. Yeah, a traditional thing for graffiti artists to be in a crew.
As a street artist, what drove you to work in the gallery?
Working with friends of mine, Rich Simmons, he's an artist. I was working with him for a while, and he kind of pushed me to get started up again and try it out. And also, I got picked up by the Opera Gallery on Bond Street. Jean-David Mallet found me on Facebook and approached me and said, will you put that on canvas?
And can you tell us a little bit about Rocket and Plugs, the characters, and if there are going to be any more characters?
Yeah, sure. So the name Rocket came about from, I was painting at the White Cross Street Festival back in June, I think it was, this year. And a little boy sat right next to me, no, not even stood back, but right next to me when I was painting. And he asked me what the character's name was. And I said, you know what, you can name him. To which he said, Craig. And no offence to what he'd called Craig, but I was a little bit disappointed, and he picked up on it and got very sad. He was really down about it. I felt so guilty. I said, look, come on, what's your name? Thinking to myself, doesn't matter, I'm not going to see this kid again. To which he replied, Rocket. And I was absolutely stunned, and it stuck, that was it.
I hear that there's a film and a book deal on the table, and at the same time, how do you see Rocket and Plugs going commercially?
I'm talking to a children's book agency who love Rocket and Plugs. They love what I'm doing with them. It's lovely to have that kind of validation almost from someone like that. The work itself is really quite cinematic. I do the illustrations on photographs I've taken. It looks like a movie already, you know. It was almost a natural thing to be approached by a company asking about, can we make the film on the back of the story? We're in there, but I'm holding out for Pixar. Social media has played a huge part in what's been going on for me. It's a new facet to graffiti and street art. It's not something that we used to have back in the 80s, obviously. And I've been very, very lucky that I actually get followed around by some very good photographers who then go on and promote me online over a period of weeks for after I've actually done a wall piece.
Can you tell us why are you such a good investment?
I've been picked up quite quickly by a number of really big galleries. Imitate Modern, based on Marylebone High Street in London. They've taken some work now, they've put me into some big exhibitions, and they've also offered me my first solo show. So I'm booked in for the 27th of March 2014 for the private viewing, please come down. And also the Opera Gallery, so Jean-David Mallet, the director of the Opera Gallery on Bond Street, he found me on social media and asked me to put some of my wall work directly onto canvas. So that was really my first introduction into why I should, you know, there are people out there wanting to buy my work. And then subsequently since then I was picked up by the Saatchi Gallery and they put some work onto their homepage, did me as an artist to watch, look out for. So yeah, I think there's three good signs. Originally I'd done a piece of work for the Opera Gallery, the Opera Gallery on Bond Street. Jean-David Mallet got in contact with me through social media. He saw some of my work on a wall and asked me to put it onto a canvas, and that was my first real introduction to the fact that people might want to buy my work. And then from there, I got myself another little show, put some work in at a different gallery, and they sold that for £100, and that was just 12 months ago. Since then, my work has shot up, so we're selling currently between 15 and 1200 per canvas. So I think that's a pretty good sign. Last year, I think I raised just shy of £7,000 for charity, which was really nice. And there was one of them was a painting I did for an anti-slavery campaign. They did a big dinner, they invited 14 of the biggest artists, street artists from globally, put up their work, and it was silent bidding. And during this, there's a gentleman there called Carl Hersham. He's an art collector based from Switzerland, but actually based over in London at the moment. A young guy, he's got fantastic taste in art, I would say that. But he got into a bidding war with a young lady over my piece, shot it up to a good £2,000 or so at the time, and then once he won, came over to her table, handed it to her, said, there you go, you can have this, and then got in contact with me directly and bought two of my pieces. So I'm very, very chuffed to say that I have one piece hanging next to a Rothko and another piece hanging next to a Murakami. I'm just bringing out some new merchandise through Imitate Modern. They've been great. They're supporting me on this, and they're going to sell it through the Christmas period, their group show. I'm bringing out a selection of little novelty things which I really like, mugs, etc. But also an iPhone case, which has had a great response. Social media's off working its wonders, and I think it might have been a little bit inundated so far with interest. So yeah, it's looking good. It's really important to me. So going forward, that my work is completely accessible to not just people that find it new, but people that have been supporting me since day one. And I know understand that the value's shooting up, but I still want to offer something at that kind of level so people can keep involved. My first solo show is Imitate Modern, Marylebone High Street in London, 27th of March 2014.